prevented or de-escalated conflict. It can be yours or others. And this is a question that I was thinking, that sometimes we are afraid of, like, when we hear the word like mediation, and this like gives certain formality to the thing that we are doing. But like I think that all of us in some time have help in a situation where like two people were having um, different points of view, or even we have like taken a decision to avoid or to de-escalate a conflict that we were living. So yeah, this question is to like really say that every day, and we practice these skills of conflict management, and that it's not something like we only practice when we are like in a gravity case, but it's also something that like all the time we are negotiating and like managing the polarities, and like seeing um, um, possible futures, and trying to like act so that you can control what you want to happen in the next futures, in those futures. And like it's important to avoid a bigger conflict, or make a decision on time can help to solve situations. And I think that you have heard like several times this example. But like I had a restaurant with my brother that was called Fratelli di Pasta, and like we were having a lot of conflict around the restaurant. And for me, that was a very important decision I had to make, because it was difficult for me to like have discussions with my brother, but it was also difficult for me like to know that if I continued the with the restaurant, like these disputes would always continue with him. And I was like, it was a difficult decision for me, but I understood that I could like take off a layer of complexity on the relationship that I had with my brother, and that if I closed the restaurant, um, me and my brother we would have like less reasons to argue. And yeah, I think that was one of the first like decisions where I understood that sometimes it's better to save a relationship than saving a project. And yeah, I felt that if I continued with that restaurant in that moment, like my relationship with my brother would have been deteriorated. And that at that moment I placed like my relationship with my brother on top of a restaurant, of a small enterprise. And I think that was something that really de-escalated that conflict, and prevented like a bigger situation. And like yeah, sometimes it's not easy to take a decision, but when we are proud of the outcomes, or the intentions that drove our actions, we can always like feel proud of making a decision, even if it was like hard. So yeah, that's like a situation where I felt that I de-escalated a conflict in my own life, because like I was feeling like, okay, if I continue with this restaurant, maybe I am going to continue arguing with my brother. And yeah, I chose to not argue with my brother. And like also closing the restaurant, in the start it was difficult for me, because like I stopped having like the income that I was having from this restaurant. But at the same time, that opened new doors for me. And new interests. And at that time was one of the first times where I was like then now like jumping into crypto and like understanding more about conflict management. And yeah, I felt that that decision opened so many doors that it made me realize of the value of trying to yeah to face problems and not like just run away from them, or trying to like avoid them or to not recognize them. I will pass to Chui.
Thank you, Juanca. Um, I'm trying to think uh, about a situation like this, but I nothing like like really comes to mind. Uh, However, I can say that in my family, it's like four siblings of us, and then it's like I'm the oldest, and then I have a sister, and then a brother, and then another sister, and we are very like different from each other. Like I don't really have a relationship with one of my sisters, with the oldest one, uh, because we really like don't get along, and we have very different like views on life and lifestyles, and and it's just like a very like unstable relationship where we can't get our differences like out of the way. uh, However, my two other siblings are very different as well, and we also like have different views in life. But we have achieved to like respect those boundaries, and we know that there are like some like red listed topics, let's say. uh, and however, I have really like healthy relationships with my other two siblings. So I guess this is only because we focus on stuff that we can uh, talk about, uh, and get along about it. Like with my brother, we both love music, uh, and and uh, and it's even though we don't listen to like the same kind of music, we love recommending each other stuff because we learn so much. So we try to have more conversations about music, right? uh because he's also a doctor, and I'm I'm not a big enthusiast of like modern medicine. So when I talk about that, there's always gonna like be differences, right? Because it's what he does for a living. uh, so we know that we should stay away from that, right? And me myself, I respect more of let's say like pre-Hispanic medicine here in Mexico, and I do believe like the healthy thing is like reaching a balance, right? Uh, However, like he does not believe, and I feel that he sometimes even like disrespects, like just the word by itself could be enough, maybe. Like all of this like ancient knowledge that I have huge respect and admiration about. So I guess this could be like a pretty good example on not really like avoiding conflict, but the freedom that we always have to go different ways with different people. Uh, so so yeah, and also like and my little sister is like much more open to like to like every point of view. So we can like pretty much like talk about anything with her, and it's something that we also try to like learn from and enrich from. uh, so yeah, those are my two
Yeah.
stats. I'll pass it to Nate.
Thanks, Chewy. Yeah, I have I have a lot of familiarity with what Juan was saying about the restaurant because I've got a couple, two sets of friends who have their own restaurants, and I help manage them and get them off the ground. And the funny thing about restaurants is that conflict is always going to be going to exist. And I've de-escalated tons of conflicts within restaurants. And the thing is about the restaurants is that, you know, each night there's a different group of people. Some stay the same, some are different, but it's a different combination. But, you know, you have a bad night, you ruffle each other's feathers. Everything that happens in an organization in 5 years happens in a single night at a restaurant. And so, you know, you just have to say, hey, let's reset, and you know, tomorrow's another day. And guess what? Everything that happened is gonna be meaningless tomorrow. And so, you know, the thing to remember is just to have a short memory, and to really keep things in perspective in terms of like what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish, and make sure that you build personal relationships where those types of conflicts, when they do get out of hand, they aren't detrimental to the actual relationship that you've tried to establish. And so, yeah, I have a deep sympathy for what you went through, Juan, especially being you and your brother's restaurant, because it's a natural environment for conflict to occur. But yeah, I'll pass it to Zepti.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, my story is like so similar like Chui's. Like we are 6 brothers, well, brothers and sisters. Actually, we are 2 brothers and 4 sisters. Yeah, basically the problem was like, I mean, we solved it like when we were very adult. But the thing it was like my mom, trying to be fair, she was like, oh, Seb, you do dishes. Oh, you do whatever, laundry. And she was trying to be fair, but you know, like there was always an unexpected moment where who will be assigned to do this task that no one wants to do. And yeah, the thing is like when I grow up, I was telling to my mom, hey mom, it wouldn't be better like if we you know have a regular task and we see them before, you know, we just not like I'm there in the couch and then you do that, and it's very annoying. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but when we talk about that, it was much better. And yeah, it's much healthier to you know have expectations on what have to do what. And I'll pass it to Meta Verde.
I'm just going to pass it. I used to work in disabled care, and there's a lot of de-escalating that we had to learn how to do. But I've got a lot going on in my own life right now, and this is hitting too close to home. I'm not sure who to pass to.
I think Durgadas.
What was the prompt? I missed the first part of it.
Have you ever prevented or de-escalated a conflict? Can be yours or others.
Yeah, I spent 7 years on talking on the phone, doing phone support. It was a nightmare. So yeah, yeah, the de-escalation in my case occurred because person called in and said, I'm going to pass you to the person who's having the problem, and they passed me to a person who was obviously severely mentally ill, but I didn't know that. I had to not only troubleshoot the technical problem, but also troubleshoot the fact that this person was extremely touchy, you know. And I also had to figure out that they were giving me the results that I expected. So they would tell me the results of the previous step after I had asked them to do another step. And so after some time, and then the more I actually tried to resolve the issue, the more agitated and angry the person got. And so it took me half an hour just to get the other person back on the phone while trying to deal with this person's meltdown on the other side of it. You know, and then they finally did. But I said, yeah, but I can't get the guy to solve the problem because he keeps escalating. And that guy said, oh yeah, you just do this thing, and then sort of fixed it. But if I didn't have that other guy, I'm not sure I would have been able to talk him down, but I felt pretty good about being able to troubleshoot that and at the same time deal with this guy's sort of emotional roller coaster, which of course, you know, you have no control over.
I see R33 Peach 33P. If you want to participate, you're welcome to participate. We are talking about experiences where you have de-escalated or helped to solve a conflict
Hi,
in
thanks.
your
Yeah,
other life.
I'm actually trying to really understand that process right now. I have a friend that lives in a kind of a dangerous neighborhood nearby, and they're having some problems with another neighborhood. So it's like, you know, so a friend that I knew from high school. We're out of high school for 20 years, obviously, but he's like kind of a community leader in his area. So he's connected to the kids that are having these kind of problems, and I would just be really interested to learn some, some techniques or insights on real de-escalation procedures and processes.
That's great. You are in the right place.
Thanks.
We are we are a group of people trying to promote conflict management competence in the DAO space, and well, the other day I was reading a very cool article that talked about that it's important to have like competence, cultural competence, and then to have like training and agents that can like help
Yeah.
because sometimes
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, continue.
I mean, yeah, I suggested to him that he think about some, like cooler heads in the group, or just somebody, from each group that might potentially be more mature and that he could actually, use as like a mediation point in between. But it's the interesting concept here is to be able to like, assign like cultural intelligence score or some aspect of like credibility externally to people, and then offer them some sort of social credit, be it like, I don't know, a pope or a kudos, or some non valuable but still status worthy like NFT or something to like have other people at least signal to other people that they're worthwhile and worthy to listen to.
Yeah, well, all that you have said have like brought new ideas into this conversation, and like yeah, sometimes we think that to mediate we have to do like be a professional mediator, but we can mediate in a lot of disputes. It can be a family dispute, it can be a dispute between a human and a machine, like and also when we were talking like about restaurants, like sometimes people go to a restaurant and they are just mad, and because of their psychological state they eat the food and they just say that the food is not good because they are like wanting to fight with someone, and then and when you have a restaurant you want to please your customer, and like people want to like so then people like develop confidence and they want to like talk with you, and if you are not in the restaurant they won't go, and and the thing is that all of our activities are driven by feelings and are more human than what we see in institutions. When we talk about institutions, we tend to like take the humanity of the thing out of the equation, but like really institutions is just people organized, and we can talk like of a neighborhood that is like an organization of people, and in all organization of peoples, there are gonna be conflicts, as like in a restaurant is a scenario of conflicts, is a space where you will have like a lot of chaos. Like in neighborhoods are like those same social systems that have like that can have like a lot of chaos and a lot of situations that need to be handled, and sometimes we think, oh, we need like a professional mediator, but there can be people inside the community that can play that role, and that's what we're doing here. We are bringing people inside the communities to play the role of the mediators, and I think that this last example that you gave is really interested. It's really interesting, and like yeah, in this kind of neighborhood scenarios, like you can find certain community leaders that can, and cooler heads that can help to represent one part and the other, and then we could try to find like a third part with authority, with legitimacy, and with the consent of both parties to start like setting a mediation and trying to negotiate agreements. And yeah, this is very complex because yeah, there are a lot of like mixed interests and a lot of like layers that makes all these interactions more complex. But it would be really interesting to apply these things that we are developing in Gravity in this scenario that you are talking about, because yeah, the intention is to help problems in organizations, and through community leaders, yeah, you could like try to set like who will be the parties that will be that will sit on the table, and try to think who would be like the third part that could help to ease a conversation between them. So
Yeah, I mean, most obviously this the initial application for this stuff is going to be like the transactions and disputes over digital disputes that are typically right now mediated by an Oracle piece of Oracle software of some sort, right? But I mean, if this is going to have any sort of applicability beyond the transactions of for value on a blockchain, then this kind of real world application is probably like an important use case.
Of course, yes, and the thing is that we can look for a legitimated third party, like a professional mediator, or we could like try to look for people in both communities that will be trying to lead this process. And what is important to do in these kind of situations is to do a map of the conflict, and that is something that helps a lot, and that can be done easily, and sometimes we don't do it. So I by DM I will send you a framework to map conflicts.
Sweet.
And yeah, you could map that conflict, and the idea is to understand what are the interests of each part, what are the needs that each part is trying to defend, what are the feelings that are driving the parts, and in that way, like putting it in a framework, you can like understand deeper, and maybe look for solutions, trying to find a common ground.
Okay,
So
awesome.
I will give you the framework to understand conflict.
That's brilliant. Great, thank you.
Okay. With that, I will pass to the topics of this call. and we are going to start having a book club on nonviolent communication, the book of Marshall Rosenberg. And the initial question would be when to start. I am proposing 2 dates that are the 16th or the 23rd of September. That would be this day to Thursday on this same hour after community calls, and we'll have the methodology of one leader for each chapter. We have the PDF and the audiobook, so that we can like choose which method, like which one like suits better our ways of learning. And yeah, the idea is to cover this book, and I think it will be a great experience. But what do you think to start on the 16th on the or the 23rd of September?
Yeah, either's good. Or sooner the better, really.
There's that Metacon. I don't know who else is going. So I would have to vote for the 23rd.
Yeah, I think, yeah, in Denver, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be exhausting.
Okay.
Too many parties right now.
Right.
Mhm.
Also, Wonka, if I do have the admin role for the book club Discord, so if you need anything from that perspective, let me know.
Okay, that's going to be perfect. So Nate, DAO book club Discord, admin. Perfect. Well, yeah. Now that you were mentioning of that thing of the event, I think that the 23rd would be good to start, and that way we could start the same week of the Graviton training, and also we can like make some promotion of the book club in these days that are coming. So do you think it's good to start the 23rd?
I think that's great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Who else votes that the 16th is better? Okay. So we will start the 23rd of September. I can start the first day I can start. And in that same day we can choose another one to continue with the book club leading. Maybe it would be good also to make like a diagram of how many chapters does the book have, and also how many weeks would that require. Yeah, so that we can like know how many, yeah, like how many dates and when will this end. So I can do that, like a diagram of when will it finish. Perfect. Does anyone want to collaborate or contribute something around this topic? These are the PDF and the audiobook.
Where's that document that you're drawing from?
When you go to Discord, Gravity, it says you can follow the notes of our session here.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. And the next topic is the Graviton training. my idea is to post this document on the forum this weekend, and is the study plan of the 10 sessions that we're going to be having. Like I have been syncing with all the facilitators, and like I feel that it's polished, but there are still 2 people that have told me like, hey, I still need a little bit more time, and I told them like, okay, I'll wait until this weekend, but I don't want to like continue postponing this, because I feel that it's important for people to like have time to start studying, and to start like making their mind and setting their expectations on what are they going to learn, and how like are going to be the progress between each session. So yeah, I think that maybe this weekend this will be posted on the forum. I think it's more or less ready, but yeah, it just it's lacking the final touches. But I think it's looking good, and I like that this time is like very diverse on the approach that we're having. And okay, the POAPs are ready. The POAPs are ready. The POAPs are ready that are here. They're only missing the secret phrase that I was thinking of for each like facilitator to like put one word, but maybe it would be like better to just like make some words random, and just like not like giving that responsibility to the facilitators, but just like choosing some random words and making some secret phrases. Okay, and other thing that I wanted to share is that people have told me like, hey, I want to know how does the gravity registry works. And I had the problem that I only had like one gravity registry, and I never wanted to share that document because it has like sensitive information. So what I did was to make like a dummy, and this is the gravity registry dummy that shows how do we process information, and so that everyone can like understand how do we manage the conflicts that happen in gravity. And we have like 3 statuses. The red one is when it's closed. The yellow one is when it's in observation, and the green one it's when it's open. So when we receive a case, we first have it like open, and here we write the organization, for an example TC, and then here we write the names of the people that is involved in the conflict, the Telegram or Discord handles of the parties, and when was the dispute like reported to Gravity? When was the start date of the conflict? Then we like provide links to follow the thread, like some forum post, Discord links, or some like in place where we can gather more information about the issue. Who is or who are the Gravitons in charge? And what is the scheduled action? Like maybe we write here in the scheduled action like, okay, we're going to have like a mediated session between the parties, or like maybe the scheduled action was to encourage the parties to solve the issue between themselves, or maybe the scheduled action was just to like change some way they were interacting, or maybe the scheduled action was to reach a settlement agreement. So here we write then if there was an agreement, yes or no, and if the dispute continued. Because sometimes there was no agreement, but the dispute ceased, and sometimes we can have an agreement and the dispute can continue. So here we track like the efficacy of the agreements that we reach in Gravity. Here we have some notes, if we want to say that one of the parts maybe didn't feel so confident on the case or didn't feel confident on the agreement and asked for follow-up. Here we can have like the follow-up, and here is like the next action, like if the dispute like needs more follow up, or like if like the dispute like ceased, or and here is the link of the observation form, and here is the link of the mediation form.
Is
So yeah,
is that the only like measurable? I mean, I understand that it's like it's a difficult formula if there even is one, but is that like the only measurable metric that we can utilize? Is dispute exists, yes or no, and then or agreement exists, yes or no, and then dispute resolved, yes or no, like on or off?
I think in hindsight, I think in hindsight we'll be able to take this information and really create case studies around like common types of conflicts and understand like what DAOs are most likely to encounter, while what types of conflicts that are most likely to encounter and how to resolve them. But I mean, in real time, I don't think so. But
well, I mean, in terms of like the parties themselves, I mean, is it the Gravitons' role to interpret each other in each of the individuals' like perspective or understanding, or would each individual? I mean, somebody could think that the dispute is resolved, and somebody could think that it's not. I mean, wouldn't each individual kind of like say, yes, it's resolved according to, or I'm in agreement according, to like out of 1 to 10 or something, or I'm satisfied with the resolution out of 1 to 10 or something like that, to create some sort of mutual agreement score of some type.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I mean, this is something that it's quite new. This is a tool that we have been developing, and like it only have had like it only have been used like more 10 times.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, I just jumped into this process. So I have no idea how.
But I think it's amazing because every time when we have like new contributors, we have new points of view, and we can add things that we didn't think about, and this is great, because we if we say only like yes or no, we are only like being bidimensional,
right.
And we are saying like black or white, and sometimes there are things that we cannot handle here, and sometimes people can feel like one party can feel like more pleased with the outcome of the dispute than the other. So
right.
Maybe we can ask the parties here, or we could like look for a way to be like more impartial, and I think I get this idea, and it can be like worked more. And like all the time when a dispute comes to Gravity, our best intention is to like settle the dispute and like solve the dispute, and let everyone like be happy. But like it's normal that sometimes we like enter into a dispute process, and it's possible that we don't reach an agreement, and it's possible that the dispute continues, or it's possible that one of the parties don't feel like the process is being
fair.
fulfilling the needs.
yeah, maybe the process weighs one party's based on just the parameters that it's been given, weighs one party's concerns more relevant than the others, and that can kind of foul the process up right from the start. It's like almost deterministically. You can know ahead of time who's going to be more satisfied, just by knowing the formula of what's important.
Yeah, we can sometimes be biased even within the start of a conflict. Like, maybe I can like mediate a conflict between two stewards of the community, and like from the start I am like yeah, this is something that relates a lot with the principles that we have as Gravitons of being like professionally responsible, and from being like for like when we accept a case, we say that we are not biased towards it. I am going to look for it so that I am not like rambling. Role role design here. That the Gravitons, we commit to these additional exigences that are required to join and stay in the collective. Like we commit to self-determination when we accept a case. So when we accept a case, we say that we are not biased and that we will try to like stay away from one party or the other. But sometimes it's also very subtle and without conscious, that sometimes we enter into a mediation case, and yeah, and we may feel more related to one stance than the other, and it should be good to let the party that didn't feel represented to express, and not only to like us saying okay, yes or no.
Yeah, certainly. It's got to be able to respond to multiple different types of inputs as a model. Yeah, or else it's not really doing much, but it's gonna favor one party over another, regardless.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I am going to try to integrate this idea. I am going to be thinking on how can we implement it, and yeah, start iterating on maybe on the next conflict, to see how can we like try to get this score from the parties, and not like us as assigning it to the case.
Brilliant.
Okay. These were the topics that I wanted to talk in this call. I am really happy and thankful for everyone joining. And yeah, I wish you a good day and a good night. And I really hope to count with you for the upcoming Graviton training and for the NVC book club.
Is there a separate time slot for the Graviton training, or is this is the place and time?
The Graviton training is going to be on Tuesdays, and this time is going to be used for the NBC book club.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Okay.
We're gonna be just to add to that. We're gonna have the Graviton training. We're gonna be promoting a Google Calendar for that, so that if you need reminders for the whole training and different dates, we're gonna be promoting that the next week. So yeah, probably you can see it in Graviton in Gravity channel as well.
Thanks, Troy.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. I send you a big hug and hope you're well. See you later.
Thanks, Juanca.
Thank you. Thank you, Juan.
Abrazos de vuelta.
Thanks.